hype horse.
Choo-choo, baby. Let's go. All aboard.
All aboard. Well, it is the Budrush. Bellow. How is everybody doing? I'm your host, Tommy Fresh. And you are all my buds. And Capolo, I see that you're saying blood late, Bellow. We're allowed to be 1 minute late because we're here and we're having a good time. And who is we? You might be asking. Well, I already introduced myself, but you all know the co-host, Mr. Viz, aka Gary. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Tommy. It's great to see you, man. I know you've been really busy. But yeah, it's been a good few weeks. Good lately for me. I actually just booked my trip to Dallas,
Nice.
so I'm very excited. Probably gonna hang out with Greg there. So yeah, I've been really excited. I mean, with the new set split, we won't get into it early. This is a mid-show conversation we're having right here. I'm starting, just saying hi and moving on. But Dallas, woo, you going to Dallas? Come say hi.
I will not be at Dallas because Gary's going. And, well, to be honest, I'm scared of him. But no, that's awesome, man. Yeah, I've been mad busy lately. Just the summer sucks. It really does. I mean, it doesn't. No, it does. I hate the summer. I'll say it. I don't like the hot weather. I don't like how there's always something to do, and I like when the sun goes down at 5 p.m. That's it. I got these light blue eyes. The sun bothers them. I don't want to mess with the sun, and yeah. So I can't wait for fall. But also, like, everybody in the, you have these friends, right? We all have friends. We have buds. You have these friends that, like, in the cold months, they just kind of disappear. They don't want to do anything. But then the sun comes out and they're like, let's do something every weekend, which is not a bad thing. But it makes
Your batteries, your batteries are drained.
Yeah,
You're socializing too much. You got to rest. You're always tired.
I know. Well, and my job, I have to talk to people and do cold calls all day, which is something else. Capola says Vegas is ideal for me. I know that's a joke. I've been to Vegas, and it is not ideal for me. It is. I feel like I don't know if this makes sense, but I feel like I'm a day walker sometimes. Like, I can be out in the sun, but it's not ideal.
Energy vampire.
Vampire. Yeah. Have you been watching the new season?
Oh, it's so good, dude. Oh, are you caught up?
I think we are. I think we're. Yeah, okay. No, we are caught up.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. I don't want to spoil anything for what we do in the shadows, but every season just gets crazier. Gotta love it. I feel like we talked about that earlier on in this podcast too.
When we first started doing the pod.
Yeah, I feel like it was like this new season started or something, and we were talking about it, or maybe like movies. We're talking about movies because I love that movie.
Yeah, the movie's excellent. What We Do in the Shadows is a great show. Obviously, this is a Flesh and Blood podcast, but listen, vampires. It's kind of. I don't know.
Staten Island.
Staten Island feels like Wraiths sometimes. I'll tell you that. And the inhabitants are from the Savage Lands. But no, we love Staten Island. All of our Staten Island listeners, all one of you probably, we love you. We love you.
Pete Davidson on the mic.
Pete Davidson, Sal Volcano. Just all the biggest hits. But all right, we gotta get a podcast together. It's like a vibey night, so we're gonna just vibe tonight, I think, and kind of enjoy the cooler weather. We kind of got some cooler weather in the Northeast here after some brutal 90-something degree weather, but I'm enjoying it, so we're gonna just vibe tonight. But before we do that, I want you to thank our sponsor. We don't really have a sponsor, but the patrons. The Patreon is the best way to support the show. It's in the link tree in the notes. It helps keep the mics hot, the lights on. We appreciate you all. Any packs that we don't open tonight get opened on the Patreon. And I also want to thank everybody on the YouTube that help us hit 500 subscribers. So that means I am doing the Levi cosplay. Unfortunately, or fortunately, we will see. It's going to
I'm
be.
gonna die.
It's time for Gary to die. He's going to be the rabbit. You know, I'm going to sacrifice him live on air. It's going to be, you know, I mean, the account's going to get banned, but you know, it was all worth it for 500 subscribers, which is the pinnacle of YouTube, I've heard. And you know, very excited. But I do, once I start working on the cosplay, which is this weekend, I do plan on posting all of, you know, the updates, like kind of pictures and stuff of like probably just me crying because I don't know what I'm doing. But I'll post that all on the Patreon. It'll be a lot of fun. So you can check it.
Big push for the Patreon if you want to see Tommy cry.
Yeah. I mean, it won't take much. I mean, Gary might make me cry tonight, but we'll see when I get to the our main segment. But other than that, the Buds Discord still exists. It's still the best place to be. Fresh and Buds, the podcast that comes out every week on Thursdays at noon Eastern Time. We have a great episode tomorrow with William Knuckles from the Table Pit. Mr. Knuckles is a bud and is a great hang, and we had a great chat about UPF. We even touched on Bright Lights, which is the new set coming out, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. I can't wait for you all to listen to it. On top of that, there's nothing else. You can check me out on X. You know,
Oh, God.
well, you got to change. Actually, I just noticed we both have. I mean, you're
Yeah.
probably not even on it anymore, but
I have it, but I'm getting rid of it. I can't. It looks like a porn app, right?
Mm-hmm. That's what it does look like. Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, I have a folder on my phone that's just like social media. You know, you got Facebook, you got Messenger, you've got, you know, all this other stuff, and then you just have X.
do you have like your porn apps too? Do you feel compelled?
Different folder, you know what I mean?
Different
so like,
folder.
You know,
Well, yeah, you don't want to click on that expecting one thing and then
Right.
seeing a tweet from
yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
Flake or something. I don't know. You're like, this is not what I signed up for. But yeah, X. I mean, I'm very close to 1,000 followers on X, which I gotta say, when I first started tweeting on X, I never thought I'd get that far. And I actually retweeted something recently, and it says repost now. You know,
Oh,
like...
God. Oh, no.
Anyway,
No, thank you.
let's get to the real show. You know, people don't need to know about this, but we're gonna crack some packs. Let me get the camera up here. Ooh, little tentacles too. Oh, actually, yeah. Let's get you rolling a dice here with your fabled. That, you know, I almost didn't have the packs. I almost forgot, and I had to run out real quick and buy them. And I was like, oh, should I just text Gary and tell him to buy some packs? But I just know that is the one time a Fable will be opened on this show, and I will.
I mean,
Rage
a
quit.
Fable was nearly opened on this show.
Mhm.
I had 3 packs of my backpack that you told me to pick up, and then you said never mind, and they sat in my backpack for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I made the right choice on saying never mind.
But yeah, so we're gonna roll Scabskin leathers and my light of soul here that I got from Brandon Armor in the Discord. We're gonna, if this is our gambler's love, so if we roll something we don't like, we can crack the light of soul to be able to roll again. 4. Now last week we rolled a 6, which is pretty good.
Yes, we did roll a 6 last week, but I think we're not going to push our luck. I mean, I don't think I've ever cracked Gambler's Ghost on a 4. I mean if I was playing Rugged Roller, maybe. But all right,
we're doing 2 packs.
2 packs. So we got 3 packs here. Which one should I leave out? Left,
leave out
middle, right.
Leave out the right.
Sorry, the right will be opened on the Patreon. Coming to you recorded, not live. But this is live.
It was live at one point, but you know.
It was live at one point. So this is a Flesh and Blood card, all right.
Yes.
Celestial
and
Resolve.
That's a really good card.
It is. It is very good. And I saw, was it Tark? Built a Prism deck on Channel Fireball that was running the Celestial Resolves. I don't remember.
It's like a flicker trick, basically.
Yeah, yeah. That doesn't
Pop
doesn't
and
doesn't
Phantasm
pop
or Mirage
or
or whatever. Yeah.
yeah, Mirage. Yeah, I keep forgetting. Defender of Daybreak. What whatever. Totally fine. I mean it's not even fine. I don't think it's that good. Maybe at the red. So 0 for 4, but even then, it doesn't have go again. Angelic Wrath is a good card. I don't know if I love the blue, but
Ooh, love Light the Way though.
Light the Way. This is a fun card to play. This is something that's going to really make the Yellows Matter deck hum for Bolton.
Mm-hmm.
Beseech Demagon.
Siege.
Is this? I forget. Do you like this one?
I don't play that one.
Yeah.
It only blocks 2. It's good. Like it's better than like Howl from Beyond, I think.
Hmm.
Like in certain lists, because like you can't play Howl from Beyond. You can play Howl from Beyond from the Bannerstone, but this costs 0.
Yeah.
Um, so it's basically like a Howl from Beyond, but you don't want to banish it. You're gonna play with it from your hand.
You know, it's interesting. I have not seen any Leviathan with this yet, where you maybe like pitch stack these for when you flip to consumed, and then they're like really good, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's a really sick line.
Yeah, I don't. It's probably too finicky, but it would be interesting to see how it works. Even if you just like Art of War a Slitherpede, you can just pop that out and
For 9.
yeah, not bad, not bad. Eloquence token, cards busted.
Yeah. Give it to Wizards. Oh,
Give it to yeah. Battlefield Breaker.
you like the yellow, right?
Yellow's fine. Like if you need to fill out your deck with like yellows, yellow 6s, this is a fine one because you can just play it, and it also blocks for 3.
Nice.
Foil Angelic Wrath.
Armory foil.
Yeah, I don't know, right? We already talked about Angelic Wrath. We had Beaming Bravado, which is good, but not the blue, and then Deathly Delight.
Deathly Delight, beautiful card.
Yes,
Gotta love the Rune Gate 2 costs.
Solid pack, but this is an expansion pack or expansion set, so we really only want the spice, right?
Yeah, we need these Crown of Poverties, right? That's what they're calling this.
Oh yeah, I love Crown of Poverty. It's any hat I wear. Courage.
Shout out to San Francisco Cricket.
Yeah, San Francisco Unicorns. Blistering Assault. Not great.
Yeah, I don't know any of the light cards other than the one with the cool wings.
This
I
is
like the ones with wings on it.
This is the if you have a yellow card and you pitch on this gets go again. It costs 2. At the red, it is a 5.
Oh,
with go again, but yeah.
I feel 2 for 5.
Capolo says expert level set. You're right, yeah. Capolo. That's why I'm talking about these cards. I'm an expert. Glaring Impact. Overpower really didn't do what we want it to do yet. I mean, it's certainly useful, but it's like weird. If Overpower was Dominate to begin with, we would like actually like it.
Yeah.
But we know what Dominate is.
Yeah, we've tasted better.
Yeah. Tribute to Demolition Blue. It's not a 6. Not interested. Embodiment Earth. Now, for those of you listening or watching, at one point, Briar could make multiple of these in a single turn. Back in my day, but we changed that. Not we, but
she did. She didn't need those.
No. Beseech the Demagon. We already talked about that card. Phantom Wraith, certainly a great card. Yellow's not the best version, but certainly good.
Still forces 3 blocks.
Ooh,
Shade and Scream though. Beautiful
one of my favorite arts in the set. Yeah. Unfortunately,
do you play any of them?
No, the stat line is not really amazing.
Yeah.
Hungering Demagon, I do play always one red in the sideboard.
Oh yeah, because you get just Prism.
Prism, Bolton.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know. I think I might be right, but I'm not sure. But I think when Levia flips, old Levia goes to her soul. So
Oh,
in
I have to
the
get Joshua Scott on the phone here.
yeah, I'm not entirely sure, but like even on Talishar, it shows that you have a soul when you
Oh.
flip to Levia. So it I think it's kind of good in the mirror. I don't
Mm.
know. Maybe I'm
Honestly, out here making big brain plays.
here's envelope in darkness. I'm not even gonna try to
Oh,
say this one. Um,
I mean,
correct.
yeah, whatever you say, whatever you want to say, man. You know, you can be right, you can be wrong. Nobody can stop you. But just make sure you truly envelop the darkness.
I got this card wrong on the set review,
Very wrong.
but you know, growth is admitting when you're wrong. Two
Sometimes,
underwhelming
sometimes,
packs.
yeah. Sometimes the good stuff's on the Patreon, So it's just
Tune in.
how it is.
Tune in, folks. Tune in.
Tune in.
All right, Gary.
All right.
Do you want to talk about bright lights?
I want to talk about bright lights. If you haven't noticed, there's some underlying tension here. We have differing perspectives. Me and Tomothy. Tomothy and I have very different perspectives on this new set. And so if you're looking for a debate episode, you've got one.
All right. Before we get to the debate, let's talk about bright lights. So
Yeah.
we got the announcement. Flesh and Blood's doing their best Magic the Gathering impression right now, and we know what the next set is going to be already, and we are just 3 weeks removed from Dusk Till Dawn. That being said, spoiler season hasn't started, so we have some time there. But it's very exciting. I'm glad that we have some information here, and it's going to be an all mech set, right? It
Yeah.
takes place in metrics. It's called Bright Lights. We saw a new hero, Teklovasin, who obviously we've seen mentioned in cards. He seems to be looks like Benedict Cumberbatch in the adult version.
I was
And
thinking Tony Stark.
I think he's giving Tony Stark, but facial
Yeah.
structure is giving
Got it.
Benadryl Cabbage Patch.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the limited it's going to be a draftable set. Everything's playable. It's all mech. I don't know if there's any generics. I don't know if they mentioned that or not, but and then on top of that, the sealed format is only 4 packs because everything's playable. And then also in limited is a 40 card cap polo.
Polo, yeah.
And so that because obviously you don't want to just run a fatigue pile, right? So I imagine most decks will be from the 35 to 40 card range just because.
Yeah.
I mean it would reflect poorly on the card quality, I think, if it's a struggle to get to to 30 at least. So it should be interesting.
Also, yeah, to be clear, so they mentioned that there's going to be 3 types of heroes in the set. There's going to be a Dash, who is Dash. They mentioned that Dash is still going to be boost focused. Teklovesin is going to be the new type of card that we have. Like they're called Evos, but they're basically like giant mechs that you can attach onto your armor. And they become basically like you become a Voltron, which is really sick. And then there's a third hero that we don't know much about. We don't know who she is. I think they mentioned that she might be a female. I'm not sure, but they are going to be item focused. So you basically have this triangle going into this set of what does my pool look like? Do I have good items? I want to go with the item character. Do I have good mech stuff? Do I want to go to the Benedict Cumbered Benadryl? Or do I want to go, or do I have good boost cards and I'm going to go to Dash? So you basically it's interesting. They've really simplified the deck building based on your pool, right? So you might want to play 40 cards, but if you have too many items, you might not consider dash, you might not consider tech blow. But if you have too many, boost cards, or you don't get any mechs,
Hmm.
that it's interesting. They've given us a choice, kind of like they did with Outsiders, where it's like, do you have the stuff for Benji? Maybe you play Benji.
Yeah, and it's also interesting too, right? You might be thinking, it was like, well, where are the other cards for us non-mech players? Well, they have an expansion slot, so it sounds like it comes in around the cold foil pull rate. Basically, will be in the token slot, right?
Yeah, one in 15 packs.
Yeah, 1 in 15 packs. So, like, you could maybe open two in a box, but they're going to be important cards for the story. It's going to be important reprints. We know that one of them is Fyandel's Spring Tunic. I'm hoping that the pull rate on that one's a little bit higher for the sake of everybody, and the game itself. And that's the only one we know, but there's going to be, it could be any class, any kind of card, as long as it fits their criteria for what these expansion slots mean. I don't know. I guess some of them can be new cards, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Some of them can be new cards. Some of them can. Most of them are there. There's three. I think they said three buckets. There's story evolution. There's class expansion and reprints, which I think is a great way to do it. Right? Like you can provide a supplemental set within within a base set without affecting draft. You know.
Yeah, I kind of hope that this is the way they continue to do this. Um, and is expansion slot the name of the new mech hero?
No, but it might be Data Doll.
Well, yeah, I was actually thinking Data Doll, but um, but I hope this is like a nice way to kind of transition into the departure from the expansion set or the supplemental
Yeah.
set, just because, like, we just saw Dust Till Dawn was not a supplemental set, right? It was a
Yeah.
story set, and
Yeah.
we got some stuff that was good for some heroes, but it wasn't Dynasty, it wasn't Everfest, it wasn't Crucible, right? And I think
Yeah.
we have talked about it on the show before. I think that the supplemental set becomes impossible as we get more heroes. So
Yeah.
that, like, so you might as well just kind of uh move forward and try this new thing out. If it works, great. If it doesn't, look at other options. So we will see what they do.
Yeah.
Now, do you want to talk about why we disagree?
Yeah, so we disagree because I love this set. I think it's going to be amazing. I think it's going to be a great intro set, and I could be wrong because mech is hard to kind of describe. Items and stuff. It can be a complicated conversation to have. There's a lot of weight with mechanologist. This is Tommy's point. I'm kind of building both our points into this intro here.
Thank you.
I love the fact that we can do this extremely casual format. You can only need to buy 4 packs for sealed, and that they're doing these expansion slots to allow people to buy cards for a set and still get cards for their class. I live in Philly, and we have a pretty tight knit community. We have a few people who love Mechanologist, but we are a Magic town, and it's really hard to break that. And so I'm really personally really excited to try and break that with a set like this. But yeah, I that's kind of my opening argument, if you will.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I agree with most of what you've said, right?
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
I am a limited junkie. I am super stoked to have a wild draft set like this. I'm gonna enjoy the hell out of drafting it as long as it's good, obviously. But like they haven't disappointed me yet. I know Uprising
Right.
wasn't everybody's favorite, but I still had fun drafting it, at least for the first month or so. Um, and it's kind of interesting. Like, you could just crack 4 packs for your sealed pool, and you're raring to go. It doesn't hurt the wallet as much, which is nice. And then there's also that new casual kind of pack wars crack shuffle and play, where you crack 3 packs with someone and you take out the token and the equipment, and then you shuffle up, choose your hero, and go, which is really cool, right? I'm super stoked with that. Now, my issue with the set, issue's not the best word. My me being hesitant with this set it comes from me being hesitant with mechanologists as a class in general. I already was hesitant about that class. Not even hesitant. Like, obviously I acknowledge it exists. Right. Like, and like, I've boarded in sideboard cards for it. So, I have to. My not issue, but kind of scary thought here is metrics, right? I need to know, and we talked about this before the show. The answer might already exist, but I don't like researching things. But I need to know, or I need somebody to tell me that the reason why metrics exist in Wraith, and it can just exist, obviously, like, right? I'm totally on board with like the Savage Lands existing and as being these like brute creatures being there. Obviously that exists, but I need to know why metrics exist and all this advanced technology isn't affecting the rest of Wraith outside of the pits, which the pits is underneath metrics, and sure, that story makes sense there. I need to know what's going on here. It could even come down to the simple fact that maybe nobody from Wraith is going to the metrics. Nobody from the pits are going to the rest of Wraith. Capolo says he needs to know why the reason why New Jersey is in the U.S. It's not. We are a sovereign state, and we don't recognize
a commonwealth.
Yeah. And I just need to know the reason, right? The reason for me could be anything. Like, once I know this reason, I'm on board, right? Like, if they're like, and this is something that I brought up. I personally want metrics to be the bad guy, right? I want it to be an allegory for first world countries versus third world countries, kind of hoarding all the technology and wealth in one spot and not sharing it with the rest of the world, and the rest of the world's stuck swinging with a romping club, and maybe there's some inherent brute versus mech kind of theories going on here.
People, you have hexagores, not just romping clubs.
Yeah.
Bone bashers,
But but like, think about like these weapons, right? They're barbaric. Like, if we have barbaric kind of things going on, why can we have this other thing? And there could be a lot of reasons, right? And Coppola says the reason to provide technological advancement to the world of Wraith, but they haven't. They're hoarding it, right? We just had the War of the Monarchs. I didn't see a single tank, right? I think a tank could have helped. Whether you believe a tank could help or not, I think it could help either side. I think either side would have loved the tank, right? So, like, and or is it like, all right, the metrics is like this Switzerland kind of very neutral party.
Switzerland? Wait a second.
Oh yeah, forgot Coppola. Confirmed. Tommy's John Connor. Yes, I am. Yes, that's exactly. I've seen too many Terminator movies to not question metrics. So like, and then it'd be kind of cool, right? If metrics is maybe this kind of like is an important ally asset, but does not want to get involved with anything. But it would be. I don't think Devin says so. Plot holes in the current story. I don't think so. This is the first time we're going to metrics as a whole set, and I imagine we're going to get lore to support it. It's not plot holes. It's just holes because we haven't filled them yet.
Shia
Okay. Shia LaBeouf. It's a great movie.
I'm tired. Yeah, I'm tired of this grandpa.
That was too damn bad. So, I get it. And then there's also like a part of me is like I hate technology, right? I mean, I understand how hypocritical that sounds as I'm streaming a live podcast on a microphone to you all. But, I fear it, and I just want to go back to
OBS is the devil.
and OBS is the worst thing I've ever dealt with. And but it's also the greatest thing I've ever dealt with. So that's basically where I'm at with it. Like I am excited for the set gameplay wise. Lore is just I need the the bridge. I need something to be like connected, right? I need to understand why metrics seems to be this technological utopia
Yeah.
or close to uh and and then I don't know. There are like little shanties that Reinhardt's living in. So, I just need to know. So that's my case for why I'm not totally sold on a metric set yet. Now, obviously, I knew there was going to be one, and I'm glad that all the mechanologist fans out there are going to get a bunch of new cards to play with. I think it's very cool. But on the flip side of that, I worry about them making this like the really accessible set to teach people, and then people get excited like, oh, I get to play with like robots and stuff, and then they realize, oh no, this is a fantasy game, like a high fantasy game. I'm just playing the one class that's not high fantasy. So that's where my hesitation comes from. I don't want to take anything away from you know this set. I think it's very exciting, and yeah, I don't know. But Capolo says Mech has the smallest card pool. It won't. That's not for long though, right? All of a sudden,
Most.
now you'll have the most. I mean, I
More
don't know
than
if that's
Ridley.
confirmed.
It depends on how many. Rose and I were talking about this. Also, the set pre-release is on Rose's birthday,
Nice, nice.
so it's gonna But so Runeblade has I think 209 cards,
Hmm.
and if there's reprints, you assume maybe like a T-bone, forcing people to block with their mechs. Probably something like zipper hits, because they're not going to print if they print a better 0 for 4 with boost. That's that's what wouldn't you just play two of them, right? You just play that, and then you would also play zipper hit or
Yeah.
60. So you can probably assume some reprints, but yeah, over 200. If they get over 200 cards, they have more than Runeblade, who has the most cards.
So I have a question here, Gary.
Mhm.
Uh, they said Dash. Now, this could be my ignorance with Dash. Obviously, I know Dash plays a lot of boost cards because that's in the mech pool. But isn't Dash's hero ability totally tied to items?
Well, so if actually, I'm going to shout out Capolo's video here. Capolo actually just put out a video, I think today, with some predictions, and some of them are usually right. Um, Dash's ability is put an item of cost 2 or less
Mm-hmm.
from your deck onto the battlefield. But we could be getting items that are very expensive.
Sure, sure.
Also, items are liability. They don't block. They don't have go again. And they also mentioned in this article this ability called Crank. Um, and the sorry,
Very
my phone.
familiar with Crank,
So Crank,
the movie.
which will make items a bit less of a liability,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if we get a new hero that can utilize items more effectively using the Crank ability, then we end up with a more effective item user than Dash.
Sure. Yeah. I don't doubt that that's the case, right? I just wonder, like, when they say Dash is still very boost focused. The only thing about Dash being boost focused currently is that that's what the card pool is. This
Right.
is nitpicking, right?
We're getting new Dash too,
Yeah,
new art
new
anyway, so we
Dash. So
don't know
like,
what she's gonna do.
hopefully it's
Who
something
knows?
like when you boost, do this or
Yeah.
whatever. I hope for the sake of the OG Dash fans that the new Dash isn't better. if that makes sense.
Well, we still have people playing Bravo, right? Oh wait.
But anyway, like, so like I think, you know, I don't want to rain on anybody's parade. I think this is very cool, and I want the mech players to get support because they do need it, right? Like I don't doubt any of that. I wonder if this is the right timing. Maybe it is just because, listen, every other class is getting progressed at this certain rate. Mech isn't. Let's just really hit mech with a big
Boost
set.
them up,
I also worry for the mech fans that we might just not get much mech support for a long time after, right? So like, if this is not the end all be all for mech, you might be waiting a while. I don't think that's the case though. I think, you know, Teklovesen seems actually awesome, right?
Yeah. He's Kano with a mech.
Kano with mech, yeah. They build like a mech suit, which is really cool. Like, I just want it to make sense in this high fantasy world, and right. You know, my concerns come from a top down design perspective, and LSS hasn't really disappointed there, so I can't imagine that they're going to. Like, I don't want this to come off as saying like, this is, you know, this doesn't make any sense, they're gonna screw this all up. I think they will make it work, but I'm just anxious to see how, right? I want to know why all these things are happening, you know, if that makes sense.
It does. I think there's a bridge in your head that just hasn't been connected yet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you just need to connect that bridge. Honestly, I'm seeing the set as Avatar Korra. If you've watched Korra, it's essentially technology in a world where there's bending. You know, wizards have fire magic, shadow wizards have shadow magic, light warriors have angels. We got to have tanks. Got to do something. But yeah, I mean, I totally understand your point. I think that we'll get a Y. You know what I mean? My yum cannot be yucked at this point.
Sure.
Know? I have great momentum going into this set. Because one, I've been asking for a way to play with like kind of one hero, or just super very casually pick something up. You know, we don't have a good intro product. Like, we have the Iradex. Honestly, like, if this was a ninja set, it could be really cool. The problem with ninja sets though is it's very bursty, right? Mm-hmm. Like, you can just get blown out. So I feel like, I don't know. I was thinking about this, and mech is one of the most kind of neutral classes where there's nothing, like, the cards have a lot of text on them when you add reminder text, but it is very clunky. You know, it's not like a very fluid, like you need to do your line exactly right. But it also teaches the combat chain very well, because if you have boosted this combat chain, you have this level of layer to it. And I think there's a lot of thought in choosing mech, and I really value that. I think that the fact that we are getting this is great. Asking why is a good point. I'm not at the point I'm asking why. I'm just very excited because, you know, like, man, if what I think I texted this in our chat earlier, but essentially I'm seeing metrics as if they are the bad guy, right? If corporations are the bad guy in the ecosystem that is metrics and the pits, right? They are tapping the pits for all of their wealth. Very common theme in the world.
Yes.
Then the pits, you basically have two diametrically opposed sides that you can root for.
Yeah.
And that sounds just like the War of the Monarch.
Oh, yeah.
So all they're doing is it seems like they're creating another side to choose, you know?
Yeah.
And maybe we're actually going to get an uprising from the pits.
Phi is coming to the pits. Confirmed.
The Phi and the pits coming to take down the man. Who knows?
Yeah, I enjoy that aspect. The only why I'm questioning is really why why is metrics the way it is, right? You know,
N-
I think the pits makes total sense, you know, right? Like within that dichotomy, right? Like if this game was just metrics and the pits, makes total sense, right?
Yeah,
You have
yeah,
this huge thing, but we all know that there's other parts to the story. So, you know, I just want to get that explanation. Devin asked if I've
yeah.
watched the Push the Point interview with James. I have not yet. That's on my docket this weekend. Obviously, the Push the Point guys over there are the best, and I saw clips of it obviously from watching The Calling, and you know they seem to
Yeah.
be having a good
I
time.
so I want to one. I think we should show the cards because we didn't really
Oh yeah,
show
yeah.
the. But I think you just it feels anachronistic to you. Is really what it comes down to. It's out of place.
Yeah, yeah, it's just you know, not to like harp on a game that I don't play anymore, but like Magic the Gathering, I don't want to play with a you know cards from Lord of the Rings next to you know this already really fleshed out uh IP. Now it's not the same as that, right? Let me bring this up real quick. Um, I think this is right. Yeah. It's not the same as that, right? Because this is part of the same IP. But I personally really need to understand
Mhm.
why it exists in this IP, if that makes
Yeah,
sense, right? Like you know, for
yeah.
me to be on board, which I'm not on board. I don't want people
Oh
to think
yeah.
that, and like I think if I could be so hyperbolic to say, I think I've been one of the most unanimously positive like people about what LSS does and you know kind of like wait and see what they do throughout my time making content for this game. So I'm still like that, right? Like I want to see where it is,
Yeah.
but like this is one set that feels to me like I'm going to need them to really I'm going to really need them to like deliver on the lore side to just make it
Make,
just connect the dots.
makes sense. It does make sense. So yeah. So I see the Benedict Cumberbatch situation here. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He I like that he got contacts. He really upgraded. He either got
Oh yeah.
contacts or he upgraded. He invented some eyes along the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks like Eddie Redmayne
Yes.
young
And yeah, Fantastic Beasts. Yeah.
and then Benedict Cumberbatch old. I
Yeah.
mean, I
So
think
this.
Teklavos is awesome.
Yeah. I mean, so being able to play Evos from your banish zone. So Evos are mech these mech pieces that we're gonna get. We've only seen one Evo so far. And what's interesting about this, so it blocks 3. It's got a crazy new stat line, which personally not the biggest fan of the templating. Um,
A little
if I
weird.
had to, if I yeah, it's kind of weird not to see a blank circle. I feel like we should get a blank circle like some of the other cards, but it is going to go on the battlefield, so I understand why they're treating it kind of like armor.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but so this costs 4. It's a blue, and you have to equip it to another base head. Right now, this is a base head, and we only have this like basically iron rot base heads or just completely blank base head to go on. So if assuming they don't give us like legendary base heads, you're sacrificing your armor for this to be able to leverage your deck having stronger armor in it. Like
Here's
why does it not? Yeah, it's weird that it doesn't have a circle, right?
yeah, definitely the templating is weird, and then
Yeah,
also yeah, yeah, like the where they put the M here
yeah.
is a little
It's a
strange,
lot of.
but we
I
got
mean,
it.
yeah,
It feels like yeah, again another Magic reference, but it feels like future shifted or whatever. Um,
yeah.
it's interesting. So, like, my question here is: does this have to be this? You can't start with this,
No,
even though it says base head.
no. So it needs to. So if it has a cost and a pitch, it goes into your deck.
Gotcha,
Just like the ash for Dromai.
gotcha, gotcha, gotcha.
Um, but it's really neat because you could literally just play regular armor and then only play base heads. You know what I mean? Like you could start with your regular armor and then your head could be empty. You could have like a Teklo base head for your head, and then your deck is just a normal deck, but you only have head augmentations in it. And head augmentations draw you more cards, right? So this one here says when this transforms into or transforms from or into an Evo with a different name. So when it transforms and when you transform it into something else, because it is a base head, you'll get +1 intelligence, which is very good because you're drawing an extra card. It does cost 4, and it does take your turn, but you're basically getting a permanent block 6, right? 3, 2, 1, and a card for 4 resources. I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I think Teklevossen seems to be slated to be one of the better heroes. I mean, this kind of effect seems so strong, honestly.
Yeah. It says draw a card, right? What's better than drawing a card?
I mean, as Tark Patel, he loves drawing cards. So, it's just it's very interesting. I want to see how it plays out. Hello, Joel. Welcome. And Devin, thank you. I mean, Hamish and is when he was on the podcast, like I could tell, we think similar. We're kind of the same ilk. So I can understand why he asked James White, and I can understand why James White did not answer him because he is a shifty fellow. He's a shifty fellow.
You heard it here first, folks.
Heard it here first. But you know what? I think it is all exciting. And I think the most exciting thing about it, Gary, is we are going to the pinnacles of the technological advances of Wraith in this set. So what does that mean? We can only go to the least technologically advanced region of Wraith after this, the Savage Lands. You heard it here first, and we're gonna get.
I thought you were talking about the untitled spreadsheet that you use every week for the draft.
Well, yeah, we can move to that as well. But oh man, you are a crazy kid there, Gary, because you're right. We are looking at this spreadsheet because it is time to look at the legendary untitled spreadsheet that folks have been talking about in the Flesh and Blood communities for a long time now. So normally we do like a little bit of a draft here where we draft cards or whatever, or things, or Michaels, or whatever it may be. And we're pretty stoked about the expansion slot. I think it's a really great addition to the game, and solely based on Tunic being part of it. But we thought it'd be cool to draft some cards we think would be awesome reprints or additions or whatever for this slot. So I'm gonna let you take it first, Gary.
Well, okay, so I'm gonna go on a limb here. I think what this is a great segment for is heroes that are living legend and giving them a hero. So rather than having to build a whole set around a hero, LSS can say, okay, we're going to put a hero in this set in order to very quickly replace these living legend heroes as they go. So I don't think we'll see like an Oldhim yet, but if this is like the perfect opportunity, because a lot of people were worried about, oh, how am I going to get all of my Starvo kind of thing. How am I going to get all of my, if we got Starvo, we got a supplemental set, but in order to make a new hero, you have to print it in a new box, right? Not with an expansion slot. So that means Blitz Viscerai, let's go.
Oh, okay, yeah, Blitz Viscerai. I forgot.
It isn't happening, but I want it so bad.
Oh, I would say don't count it out, because guess what? You're gonna have to wait a long time.
Yeah.
Until CC Viscerai goes the way of the dodo. Also, thank you, Joel, and Shoichi 84 for the, we hit 500. It's pretty lit.
Yeah,
Awesome. It's
very
great.
exciting.
Blitz Viscerai is a great answer. What's it gonna do?
What's
We
it
don't
gonna
know
do?
yet.
It could do nothing.
It
It
could
could
do
literally be a blank card.
You just
If
want to
it
play
said Viscerai, and I could play Arknight Shard, I could play Become the Arknight, and I can play OTK Viscerai and Blitz.
Viscerai, Runer of Chance.
Yes, and he says nothing except Rune Chant.
Rune Chant. On the card. I thought maybe
Yeah.
his character.
Just a little text bubble.
Yeah, it's just the flavor text. Rune Chant, Viscerai. So my number one pick here is a card that we haven't seen a reprint of, but is a generic staple. This is Art of War. This is not a card that's necessarily like super. I mean, it's expensive, but it's not crazy expensive, like CNC or whatever. But it would be good to just kind of put some more out there, or even Gary, if they did an alternate art version of Art of War in this slot, which I think would be very cool. It's one of my favorite cards.
Yeah.
So Art of War is an easy pick for me.
Levi loves it, yeah.
Levi loves it, and a lot of other heroes love it, and people always call for the ban of Art of War, and I'm always like, please no, it's all we have. I just want to banish something from my hand.
Levi without Art of War would be so brutal.
Yeah, literally, yeah. But what's your number 2?
All right, my number 2. It's going to be a very common list, but I think we're going to do Arknight Shard or Fables.
I'll just do Fables.
Yeah.
I think that's not likely. At 1 in 15 chance.
Well, it's 1 in 15
True.
of
True.
220, 100,
Okay.
But, and also, we don't know the rarity of the type. So it could be, the reprints could be more rare than the others.
Sure. No, that makes sense. Yeah, no, Fables would be a great way to, you can't start printing Arcane Rising again. That's for sure. Mm-hmm. I think this is gonna sound. I mean, it's pretty redundant at this point, but something to push Warrior.
Oh.
Because I understand Dorinthia is good, and they throw a lot at her, like in terms of like just support. There's just something. I think there's just something fundamentally not there with Dorinthia
She's too fair.
Yeah, too fair. Like you got to give her something that, like a demi hero or something like that. Once you get, X amount of counters on Dawnblade, transform.
You literally were. You said my third pick actually. Demi heroes.
Okay. You said demi hero.
Yeah, because I was thinking, they tested this out, and at the end of the story, Dorinthia is about to hit her like Super Saiyan light mode, right? However, you know how Leviat is a shadow card?
Mm-hmm.
She's not a shadow brute card.
Mm-hmm.
The front half could be a warrior card, and the back half could be a light card.
Oh, true. But I think you run into some issues with like deck building, right?
Well, it's not a light card in your deck. It's only a.
Well, I mean like with stuff like I guess it could just be a light demi hero or whatever. But would it just not work with like it would just have to work with regular warrior cards, right?
Yeah. Like, so my point is, right, you can still play Leviathan specializations even when you are Blasphemet.
Yeah.
But so like, I don't know, maybe her hero ability gives her a soul, and the soul becomes something. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, it could all be on the card. That's I think it's happening at some point. We don't know when, but The demi heroes or these transformations could be a really nice way to put them into the set. They're legendary rarity, so probably not happening, but I'd like to see it.
Yeah.
Glistening is a great choice.
Yeah, Shoichi, that glistening is a great choice, and I wish I picked it. But I mean, I imagine actually the Dorinthia one is going to come in the Return of the Jedi.
Oh yeah.
Version of the War of the Monarchs. Third act makes sense. The good guy, quote unquote good guy, has their day in the sun. So something to push warrior is something I like, but like I also like really important story cards. And we have a decent amount of them, but I really like just specializations in general.
Yeah.
Specializations. Because they matter to the story. Sometimes they're really good, sometimes they're not so good, but it would just make sense in the slot. Now, I'm not sure. I didn't look into it, but are these slots going to be always foil? Or are they going to be anything, or we just know that the slots exist?
I think that the slots just exist. We don't really know what's going to happen with them.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, it's really interesting you say that because like it almost feels like the specializations in Dusk Till Dawn could have been expansion slots cards, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Yeah.
And so that's a great pick.
Yeah, because they can reprint specializations and make new ones, right? Like, I mean, I guess Arcanite Shard is a good example, right? Like that's a specialization that people would love a reprint of, except for collectors. But we'll see. What's your fourth pick?
Yeah, so my fourth pick, I really think that we need like people talk about the CNC reprint, and I think along with Tunic, we'll probably get CNC. Like, if you think about the prints that Command and Conquer's had, it got its first edition unlimited white border Fable.
And it's still crazy expensive.
And it's still $80.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody's going to be sad to open a Command and Conquer.
No. Yeah, no, I think CNC is a great choice there. I mean, there's a lot of like I could throw an E-Strike here too because we haven't really gotten a reprint of that except for the white border, but it's one of those ones that like kind of hovers around a pretty decent price point. But yeah, CNC would be really really cool to see. Now I know we just saw Crown of Poverty, right? Crown of Providence, but I would like to see like if they're willing to push into the legendary slots, I would like to see reprints of other. Or actually, no, we already know they're going to push into the legendary slots with Tunic. I would like to see some reprints of some other like old legendaries from like Welcome to Wraith and Arcane Rising, whether it is Grasp of the Arknight or Scabskin leathers, obviously, Brayforge bracers, whatever. It would be even kind of make sense to reprint Teklo Foundry Heart, but that might just make it into the regular set anyway. So like reprint old L's.
Yeah, like the class legendaries would be really nice.
Mm-hmm. Like if they're going to reprint Tunic, so they're obviously willing to branch into that realm.
Yeah. All right. So my last pick.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we got Morlock Hill. Okay. We got Morlock Hill where what's her name? Oh, I forgot her name. Her name's literally on the card. Oh, I forget it. Anyway,
basically we have Minerva.
We have Minerva, yeah. We have this pivotal moment when Minerva is killed. What if we get the pivotal moment when Viserai not only becomes draconic, remembers who he is, who he was, omits the monastery from his under his control. I mean, omits himself from being controlled by the monastery, and he transforms, and he gets the moment of when he became the Arc Knight, and when he, whatever the opposite of that is, gets rid of the Arc Knight.
I like that idea, but I think we could both agree, Gary, that that's like a Arachne killing the Emperor level reveal, Levia consume level reveal. I think you got to save that for like a big set, but I think you could print a card that hints at it for sure.
Yeah.
So
like bequesting the vast beyond.
Yes. Is that
that was the card from Festival.
Yeah, but was that hinting at?
It was hinting that he's questioning. He's questioning and moving through his thoughts.
Cool. I mean, whatever, dude. No, I'm just kidding. Oh man, my fifth one was really good. What I just forgot about it because I keep thinking about Visceri.
You keep hearing my shitty ones.
Yeah, I keep thinking about your really bad ones, man. No, geez, what the heck happened here? It's not a reprint. It's something new. God, Gary, it was really good. Talk about something real quick.
Okay, so we were talking about how Visceri was transforming and how pivotal moments in stories, and I threw a curveball and said Visceri was going to expunge the Arc Knight. There we go.
Expunge the Arc Knight. Pretty good.
That would be really sad day. But yeah, so we were talking about how nobody would be sad to open a Command and Conquer.
I know. I remember.
You figured it out.
It's pretty. It was right in front of me. It's new traps. Because we've seen that, especially in Riptide's legendary traps, that they not only expand the class, but they're also really great, like story points for the game.
Yeah.
Right. So I would love to see some new traps, and like
another Riptide hero.
No, I don't want to see another one. I love.
He's a trap on his own, right?
He's a trap to play. Some people would say, but I think that's a goddamn lie. Riptide. I would like to see Riptide just get like a new toy. Why not? Like throw him like a new trap. Just it could even function like the old crew traps. I don't care. I just want to see something for Riptide. It could even just be like a I don't know if anybody saw, but Jesse Harper, Big Bud, really helped me out a lot with Riptide. Had like made up a version of what the anchor would be.
Oh yeah.
For Riptide. Now I know when I talked to Brian Gottlieb that he said that was more of a the anchor that's in his hand is more of a metaphor for that he likes to use traps, and that makes sense. But maybe this is the time to give him some kind of anchor thing, whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I think the possibilities are near endless with what they can do here.
I mean, it's quite literally an expansion slot, right? It's an expansion for the game. So what we got in supplemental sets will be what we get in the expansion slot. Can't wait.
Yeah. But hey, this is a good show.
Yeah, man. Happy to be back. Happy to be chatting. I can't wait.
But yeah, and I know that maybe I always worry. Maybe I'm crazy, but I always worry that I come down a little bit. No, I'm crazy. I'm.
No, okay. Oh, sorry. I was talking about that you were bringing it down. I do agree you were crazy.
No, I am. I am nuts and I'm insane.
Yeah.
But no. I always worry that maybe I come down a little bit, especially like I want people to be excited for Bright Lights, but I just want to express my hesitation with it, but I'm still excited because I'm just excited to draft.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to draft. Can't wait to do. Also, shout out to Dagan White in Iowa for shout out to Iowa. We don't often talk about Iowa, but me and Greg in Pittsburgh, we played this thing called pack battles where we beat up the 3 packs of outsiders. We shuffled them up. Sleeves are banned. You're not allowed to look at your cards. You're not allowed to use sleeves. Key rule: sleeves are banned. No sleeves in pack battles.
Mm-hmm.
Playing this months before this crack shuffle play stuff comes around. It hits the table, and Dagan and all those guys in Iowa are playing it already.
Yeah.
What amazing. I was playing it at my armory this weekend. I was like, hey, we're gonna shuffle up some Welcome to Wraith and just play, and then the next day, crack shuffle play. Shout out to Iowa and the belt and whatever that guy's got going on with his events. There's a wanted poster now. I don't know what's up with that, but
Dagon is a mythological creature.
yes, a cryptid, if you will.
A cryptid. But yeah, no, this is a great show. Shout out to Dagon. I love Dagon. It's just like I just want to something about Dagon. I just want to cuddle him, but
Yeah.
and just like tell him how much I appreciate him. But if you see Dagon, tell him Tommy Fresh appreciates you. Gary, can you plug your things? Your
Yeah. Oh, Caleb made it to chat.
Caleb made it right to the finish line.
Right at the plug. He made it right at the plug. It's beautiful. Yeah, you can find me in the Buds Discord now. I've kind of expunged the X from my I'm trying to get off of Twitter X. So find me in the Buds Discord. Also the today is the last day for the 100 episode tee. I have the link. I'll drop it in the chat. Here. I'm wearing it. So I've survived 100 episodes of Fresh and Buds. We're almost at 2 total years. Pretty crazy. And if you've listened to Tommy for 104 hours, plus however many hours those set reviews are, you might be a little crazier than he is. But we're there. But yeah, you can find me at Fresh and Buds Discord. You can find me at Dallas, the Calling Dallas coming up. Very excited to be there. If anybody's going to PAX Unplugged in December, I'll be there as well. First weekend of December, PAX Unplugged, play a bunch of board games, play some Flesh and Blood. Come on down to Philly. Can't wait. But that's all I got.
I might also be at PAX Unplugged, folks.
Oh, yeah.
But that's a coin flip at this point, as is most things. Everything's a Scabskin roll in my life.
We didn't do our Scabskin roll of the week.
Oh my god, we skipped it because our packs were so hyped. Or we were just so hyped to
Talk about,
to Bright Lights. I didn't have anything crazy for Scabskin, actually. I'm just going to talk about a game that I rolled a bunch of ones 4 in a row. But do you have anything you want to add?
I don't have a particular Scabskin roll, but I do want to shout out Pat Shaw in the Buzz Discord, where he's playing Leviat and he's not having a good time.
All right.
That dude is rolling low. So give him some love. Give him, he's out here ideating, getting back with an X and some Oreos. I don't know what's going on with that, but shout out to Pat Shaw for rolling low this week.
Patty Shaw, check him out. Off the Rails TCG. He is making bespoke content, which I didn't know what that meant until I asked him. He told me on a episode that I was on, and it was a good time. Shout out to Pat Shaw. Shout out to all the buds that you can find in the Discord, which is in the show notes. Continue to support the Patreon if you like. It's very helpful. And then also, what was I going to say? Oh, X. Follow me on X. I'm doing all the X stuff over there. I'm Xing and re-Xing. I don't know what is going on with Twitter right now. I'm making exclamations. And 500 subscribers on the YouTube, I'm gonna be Leviah. So, tune in. I'll be posting updates on the Patreon, and hopefully I get it done by Columbus, which I'm gonna try to make it to at the end of this or the beginning of September, Labor Day weekend. Just really itching to play some competitive Flesh and Blood and lose, but that's par for the course. And then, is there anything else? Xing with the X's. Capolo says, I don't think there's anything else. Just love each other and be good buds. And I know that I saw Barbie, and I think Gary was talking about Barbie last week. Barbie was good. I liked it.
Yeah, very good.
I liked it. Go see Barbie. Go see Oppenheimer. Go see them together.
Don't see the Haunted Mansion.
All right, can we talk about the Haunted Mansion for one?
Did you see it?
No, I didn't see Haunted Mansion.
I saw it.
Was it any good?
It was fine. It was.
It's a Disney movie, right?
It didn't need to be like 2 hours.
Okay. I mean, this is a final thought before I click the exit music, but I saw actually a meme about this saying, whoever would be like in a boardroom where they're like, let's make a Haunted Mansion movie. Sure, let's do that. When should we release it? July. Yeah. It's like the perfect Halloween movie. Just wait till Halloween. But that's my little qualm with the Haunted Mansion movie. But see Barbie, see Oppenheimer. Don't see them together. I know the Barbenheimer thing was a thing, but I've seen both of them, and I can't imagine making the switch. They are very different in tone, and that's not a bad thing. It's just going to affect your mental health, and that's the last thing we need. So Capolo says Alan was the best in Barbie. I am almost inclined to agree. I was more of a Ken guy. I love the patriarchy. No. All right. Well, that's it.
It's not about horses. It's not about horses.
It's
also,
not.
We're going to clip that.
No, I love the patriarchy. Yeah. I'm going to lose all my sponsors that I don't have. Fresh and Buds tomorrow. Sponsor free. Always, except for the patrons. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Bellow.
Hello.